Hi, everyone. So everyone's texting me now. If you go to my channel, I'm back on. Let's see if we can get anyone on. Nobody's here. And I don't know. I wasn't able to, there, some of you are back. Okay. I'm so sorry. A phone call came in. Usually that doesn't happen, but for some reason it froze the whole screen and I couldn't get it. Here we are. Let's go back to this. All right. Here's Merlin, who's settled himself nicely. I am going to take this opportunity to show all of you this piece because someone had asked about that. So let me see if I can get back far enough. Let's see. I think I have to go back. Do you see how I've got him draped over Merlin? He doesn't even move. So there it is. You're getting a lot of light. Let me see. Merle, can you just move, babe? Come on. I know he's so upset with me now. I know, sweetie. Come. There you go. All right. Here we go. So can you see? There's the piece. And there's Merlin. Okay, babe, come here. No, I know. And what I am working on right now was this Cast-On Bullion Rose. So I hope others were able to find me again. I lost most of you. But let's see. I'm going to see if people are texting me on okay. So there it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give me 1 second so that I can tell people on Facebook that I'm back on. And see if I can get in here. Here we go. Okay. I am back up and running. All right, and there's Merlin ready to go out. Sorry, guys, this is quite the... This is quite the live stream. Okay, so here we are. And as I had shown you, this was the other one in the Steph Francis. I can do another one of these, or we can do something else. Whoever's remaining, there are only a few of you here, but why don't you tell me what you think? I really wanted to do the cast-on. How dare someone call you while you're filming? I know, Sandy. There it is. Why wasn't she watching? That's what I want to know. So what do you think? Did that kind of explain to you? Do you feel like I'd like the circle to close? Sally, when you say that, what do you mean? I'd like the circle to close. Does this not seem closed to you? I don't know what I'd like the circle to close means. Here's the other one, right? And again, one can keep going. You can keep just making this larger and larger and larger by adding, doing the same thing, coming up, going around, and of course adding how many cast-ons as the rose gets larger and larger, and you could make it as big as you want. No, in bullion loops, mine don't close. I don't know what that, Can you explain to me what you mean by in bullion loops, it doesn't close? I think she's talking about the loops, Sandy says. I'm not sure what that means, though, that it doesn't close. See, this is where you need Zoom so you can show me, or we can talk and you can explain. It's hard. Cast on stitch, only one. I'm not sure what that means. I'm going to do one more, and maybe you'll explain as you're, as I'm doing that. I'll do one more here. So again, I'm going to come out, right, not at the end, but just in, and I'm going to go around. As I go around, I do less than, I always do less than half, but now I do even less than that. So this is more like a third, right? And I'm going to keep going here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Making a cast-on loop to make like a petal so it closes up, right, Sally? That's what Sandy's. Sometimes you sprinkle circles around as fill-in stitches. Mine never completely close. Oh, okay. You're talking about a different stitch completely. You're talking about what I'm calling a circle. Is that? I think that's what you're. You know what? Let me demonstrate those. That's along the same lines. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead with this, and I'm going to end this now. I love this rose. Can't wait to give it a go. Thank you. Oh, good, Donna. I'm glad. So there we go. And what is nice about the cast-on rose is the petals kind of stick up in a way that it just sticks up a bit more, which is fun. Are you tending to work your designs from the bottom of your piece up toward the top? You know, it does seem that I am doing that. With this one. With the Olea piece, well, I started in the lower right corner, but then I did move up, and then I started to move to the left. So no, I wouldn't say that's like a thing. With this one, I have been, and I'm not sure why exactly, but I have. I've been working from the bottom and then kind of going up. All right, I'm going to do this so Sally can see, because she was asking about these, what I'm calling a cast-on circle, which is these, right? Sally, that's what you're talking about, I think. So what I do, and I'm going to do a totally different thread now, and I think I'm going to actually do, yes, okay. I'm going to do a whole different part of this here. I'm going to work over here. So when I do, oh, thank you. It's looking beautiful, garden-like. Thank you. So for the cast-on circle, the trick here is to come in really, really close to where you're pulling your thread at, where the thread is originally emerging. So I'm going to go in right here. I mean, literally, I think that's 2 threads I'm pulling, right? then I'm going to very carefully, you're going to have to hang on because no one's getting that but me. Hang on. Hello? 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 Okay, great, thank you. Oh, you're getting the full New York experience here. I don't know where any of the rest, there are 4 people in this household, and I appear to be the only one who's capable of answering doors, getting the phone. There we go. Not that I'm complaining. Now, the other thing about the circle is you want to have it large enough to really wrap all the way around. So I wasn't counting and I'm not really paying attention, but I am kind of looking at this and gauging. That's probably big enough, but I'm going to add 2 more here, cast-ons. Again, I put my thread in the back, which ensures that my ridges are going to stay on the outer edge and not tuck in or twist. Another thing I said before my screen froze was I want to keep the tension of those cast-ons even. So I pull them fairly taut to ensure that the tension's the same or pretty darn close. Now I'm pulling that, and do you see, because I've only got 2 threads, how close that is? I'm never going to get it completely around because of the nature of a cast-on. It's bowing out there, but I can make it look pretty close, right? And now I'm going to pull my thread through here, and I'm going to tighten it, and I'm going to do that one tack where I tack it down so that I get a circle. Unless you want it to stay upright, in which case you wouldn't tack it down. But for me, I'm going to tack it down and I go right in there. I don't go on the outside, I go right inside. And I'm going to tack it down with 1 stitch. And there it is. And it's showing because it's a variegated thread, but that's okay. Let me see if I can pull this. If I pull it tighter, it probably won't show. It's the wrapping around thread when you first start. Oh, okay. Now, if I want to do a bullion circle here, I'm going to come up. It's the same kind of idea, but it's a little easier to fudge with a bullion because, again, I'm going to go right in it's really close. I don't think there's more than a couple of threads there from the linen. And now I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 maybe. That'll be fine. And I pull that through, and I'm going to keep pulling till I get that circle, and I'm going to anchor in right where I came out, pulling my needle down into the back. And again, I'm going to tack it down. Now, if I wanted, I could also do a little kind of fudging stitch right here. But I don't really need to, but I can. So I put my needle in here, and I'm going to go right into here. This may not. There. And now I'm going to tack it down the same way I did the cast on. So I'm coming up. I'm getting a bunch of stuff in here. I'm not sure what that is. And then I'm going to go right back. Do you see where my thread is emerging? I'm going to go right back down. I can even go down into that same hole if I want. It won't matter. The point is I want to tack this down. I want to pull it enough that it's going to keep that circle where I want it, but not so much that it's going to change the shape. And that's my circle, my bullion circle. So I have my bullion circle, I've got my cast-on circle. And, oh, what did I do? I'm not thinking. And then I've got my cast-on roses. Yeah, so did anyone want to say and see anything else before I go? I'm so sad that my video crashed on me and froze up. I wanted to have one solid, just on that cast-on Bullion Rose, and I mean, I guess I'd finished it, so it's no big deal, but it was too bad that it didn't continue. We're going to use the silk ribbon. We're going to use the silk ribbon. Okay. I have not used much silk ribbon on this piece, but I might. I had this one that I was thinking I would do something with. Isn't this gorgeous? I got this at M&J Trimming, which is in New York City. It's such a beautiful, beautiful ribbon. And they have these hand-dyed silk ribbons. On the drizzle stitch, do you wrap around the needle at the start? Let's see. Let me do a drizzle. I'll do one right here. So I come up. Were you going to make a silk ribbon cast-on rose? I wasn't, but I could. I can do that. Let me, I need to get a 4mm. This one's too thick. This is a 1/2 inch. And, I mean, that would just be kind of mammoth. Also, it would sort of ruin the beauty of this ribbon because so much of it's going to get bunched up. Let me do the drizzle and then I'll do a silk ribbon rose. So I put my needle back in there. I don't know if Sharon is still here, or who was it who asked about the tulip versus the Milners. I wanted to show you the difference. This is a tulip. And the tulip Milners always have a more elongated eye than the ones that than Sue Spargo's. Her eye, if you can see the difference. So it's just a more elongated eye and just a little bit less elongated. This is also a larger Milner's. This is a 1 Milner's, and this is a 3 Milner. This is Tulip 3, and this is a Sue Spargo 1, I believe. So let me continue with the drizzle. So I'm putting my needle here, I'm anchoring it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my first cast on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's do 16. There's 16. I'll go ahead and rethread this. So Sally, I don't know if that answered your question as far as about the drizzle, but this is how I do a drizzle. Now I'm going to pull that through. And there we have it. I'm going to end this, and I'll go ahead and grab some silk ribbon, and we'll finish up with one cast-on ribbon rose using silk ribbon. And let's see, I've gotta find my silk ribbons. Okay. Find one that looks good with this, so that's good. I think I'm gonna go back over here and I'll put one over here. So I want to make sure that I have, you know, a hefty this is dried roses from the thread gatherer. I'm going to go ahead and put this on I think this might be a beading needle, I don't know, but it's got a nice elongated eye. For those of you who don't do much silk ribbon work, not that I'm any expert, by the way, I'm certainly not, but I do, this I learned through a woman who had an online course on ribbon stuff, and this was how I learned to thread the silk ribbon. And I can't remember her name either. She had a lot of silk ribbon that she sold on her site. So that just keeps it nice and attached. And now I'm going to go ahead with my knot at the bottom. And I'm going to come up. I think I'll do a silk ribbon rose maybe here. Now, I've never done one. I've never done a silk ribbon cast on rose before, so anyone's guess how this is going to turn out. I'm doing the first of my parallel lines. I think I'll just do 4 because I've made it pretty small. I'm going to do my second parallel line right next to it, right? So there's that. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that through. And now I'm going to anchor it. And I'm going to come up just as I typically do, which is in the upper left, not at the top here, but just in from the side. So, you know, the top would be here, and I'm coming in over here, which would be, what, 11 o'clock, I guess, if you're thinking of a clock face. Then I'm going to come back around to the 3 o'clock, maybe, angle. And I want to come back with my needle to right next to where the thread is emerging. And it's a little bit off, so there we go. And now I'm going to do my cast-ons. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10 is probably good. See how that works. And I need it to come right on this outer part. It's a little tricky. I'm working around a lot of other stuff, like this big bead is kind of getting in my way. And probably could have done one more cast on there. But but it's okay. So there's that. And now I'm going to come around from, say, the 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, maybe? Or 6 o'clock? I guess 6. And again, let me do my cast-ons. That's 13. I think that's more than enough. I don't remember what I did my other ones. So there we go with that. I'm going to anchor it, come back up, just in from where it ends. I'm going to go back around to over here. It's 13. Now this one twisted, and I'm not sure. Well, it's okay. I'm not sure whether I somehow didn't, I don't know, didn't do what I normally do, or, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm just going to keep doing this around. See, I'm going to go here, I think. And there. See, I want to tuck that under. Yep. Okay. So now I'm going to do my cast-ons. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm glad, Sandy. Sandy says it looks, and then put an emoji with hearts in her eyes. I mean, ribbon is really pretty cool to play with, isn't it? It kind of transforms itself depending on the stitch. So it would be, you'd be hard-pressed to say, oh, that's silk ribbon, you know? I mean, I'm not sure I'd know what that was when I looked at it. And then I'm going to anchor, and I'm going to come back up. But it's certainly taking shape, right? And it's fun to try different, you know, different threads that you hadn't, different materials that you hadn't thought of using before, and just seeing what happens. I think 13. And then I think the next one I will do a few more like 16 cast-ons. But I just am going to keep going around until I feel like I'm done. I don't have any, you know, I don't do, oh, I just do 2 or I just do 3. You just kind of, I just keep looking at it, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It almost looks like a pansy. It does. I agree. And there we go. And now I'm gonna anchor it. It's starting to look like an ornamental cabbage, Frida. Yeah, it, and now I'm gonna go in here, and I think that'll be it for this one. And of course, again, one could just keep going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Pull that ribbon around. Another thing I do is I sometimes will just keep going until my thread runs out. It looks great. Do you ever consider the price of fiber silk ribbon versus silk and pearl, or go for the look? I'm going to be totally honest. I don't go with the price. I go with how it looks. I figure that I have spent so much money on threads, and how much is silk ribbon versus how much is silk and pearl, I couldn't even tell you. I totally go by what it looks like. I like the way the ribbon transforms. I've only working with it. Stitched roses, leaving the ribbon with more loose looking. Right. So I'll do this one last petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. The other thing about pricing is you have to go with how much yardage you're getting. So I can't even tell you what the price of silk and pearl is. It's like what retails for $7.75 or something like that from the thread gatherer. And what's ribbon? It's like 4 something maybe. I don't know. But what's the yardage? Because that's really going to change also. In order to really do a price comparison. So I'm going to end it here. And there's my ribbon rose, which I have to tell you, I think is really pretty. I like it. So I've got my cast-on bullion rose done in silk, 4mm silk ribbon. This is from the thread gatherer. This is the House of Embroidery 8-weight. And this is the 5-weight from Fiber on a Whim. And here is the 5-weight from Steph Francis. All cast-on ribbon roses. They're fun, aren't they? Thank you, Wanda. She's saying, I love your work. That's so nice of you to say. So, pretty, right? And then we covered the Cast-On Circle, as well as the Bullion Circle. Thanks so much for watching, all of you. I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving if I don't see you before that. If for those of you in the States, if you're celebrating. And otherwise, I think I'll be doing another live stream on Friday. I'm sort of planning on that. And thank you, Sally. Thanks for all your questions. Appreciate it. And Sandy for giving me the encouraging me to try the silk ribbon. Until next time, we'll keep stitching. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.